Hello, everybody, and welcome to this presentation of Week 2 Minor League Tag Pro Season 22. We've got a matchup between the Snow Angles and the Young Hotties. Um, uh, I'm Zvanvok. Joined alongside me is co-commentator JJ Poole. JJ, what are you looking forward to in tonight's game?
Hey, Vaughn. We got another Snow Angles matchup this week, this time against Young Hotties. Young Hotties won pretty handily in their week one game. Snow Angles went 0-2, so they're looking to rebound. Snow Angles have, looks like, two replacements this week from their week one lineup. It looks like they are now going to play Prism, I assume, on defense. And I think the player with this CRC as their name is Yis. I think Yes is restricted to offense. So we'll see how those changes for Frozen's team affects their team and if they can help turn the 0-2 record around.
Yep, as you mentioned, they got off to a bit of a disappointing start last week. We saw they ended up getting swept by the Mooper Pings, while the Young Hotties had a good start to last week, starting 2-0, defeating, I believe it was the Spikers. Um,
Yes, Itsy Bitsy Spikers. So I think one interesting thing with Snow Angles as Yes tries to get out of base with the bomb is that Yes is technically unaffiliated with any team at this point in the season. He was dropped last week, but it was after the free agency window happened. So this is a loan, and then Yes, I assume if he does well, Snow Angles will try to pick him up for next week's free agency window.
yeah, it's basically a tryout as the first round of
Yeah,
power-ups coming up. Tag pros go to either side, but now it's Excel, Trump for Prez, who's out past, should be past 4. Oh, Prism gets around. Somehow he avoids the tag pro and keeps this game scoreless.
Trump for Prez is Excel, aka Chaos. He is actually a DEP player on this team. Team is the one drafted to be the other player for the Young Hotties, but team I think just couldn't make week one, and Chaos and the Young Hotties did very well. So I assume that Chaos is going to play until proves that he shouldn't play anymore.
Yeah, if it ain't broke,
And
don't
we'll
fix
see if
it.
that happens.
Nice move from
Exactly.
Big Swing. Gets out past, nice split past 3 and brings in for cap number 1. Young Howdy's already on the board and looking for cap number 2. A couple bad grabs, 2v2 chances for the block. Excel can't
Oh,
quite get around, but his team does get 2 power-ups. Couple tag pros, as Frozen isn't going to be able to get out of base. Yes, ends up getting spawned on as well.
Big Swing got our first cap there. He's Raymond 53 for anybody that doesn't know. Um, watched their game back last week as Frozen gets a return cap to make it 1-1. Big Swing in is very good. You can tell that he just has way more experience and way more high level experience than almost anybody in minors. And you can just tell the way he boosts around and plays in minors that he's one of the top players.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a bit of a leader on this team as Frozen trying to take the lead for the angles now. He'll back up as a grab comes in for Excel. I never know what to call people when they have name changes. Should I call them by the name that people know them by or by the name that they are appearing by? It's very
See,
confusing.
the name that I know him by is Chaos. So I feel like
Yeah,
I'm going to be calling him Chaos.
he's also I do lots of the historian type things, finding all these name changes. He's had like 10 different names as Prism comes in, can't get past the last OD member though, and it remains a 1-1 game. Among other names, he was Ball 9000, I believe, and some other weird ones that I can't remember. But now everyone is spawning in base for the angles. I'll call him Chaos, so then we can be consistent. Chaos is going to be bottom. Pass 3 needs a last block from Alpha Churro. He goes underneath. Chaos gets the cap number 2. Frozen can't get him. Oh, but
Well,
Alpha Churro
Frozen's
gets
out.
off the gate, and Frozen gets a counter cap right away. Unbelievable. That's A bit unlucky. Alpha Churro puts it in the chat. He says A.
Yeah,
He
he
could have had
acknowledges.
that one.
Yeah, I think Alpha Churro is very good. He scrimmed with our XLTP team a few times. He's friends with Anthony Davis, so we would hang out. And I really knew nothing about him before XLTP, but I think he's really good. He's really good at prevent and base. I think he could do a little better chasing, but I think he's definitely going to make a very good impact in minors this year.
Yeah, he's one of the. You don't see many rookies. Oh my goodness! As Frozen comes into base, he gets a nice grab, and then the split blocks in base makes it the third cap for the Angles. As you mentioned, Alpha Churro, he's one of the few rookies this season in minor league tag pro. Uh, the game's so old now that there aren't many rookies around, but he is one of them, and he is, he's done well last week, and certainly trying to prove his worth overall. Frozen
I don't
trying to
think
go ahead.
I don't think last week is a fluke for him. I
Yeah,
think he'll be consistently good the rest of the season. And for Snow Angles, Frozen has 3 caps already. So
yep.
it looks like he might be liking his partnership with Yis at this point, as Yis is leading the game in support right now. He's at the bottom of the scoreboard, but has the most support on the team.
It's all about the support. As Yis trying to come in for his first cap. Nice bomb. This should be a cap. It is.
Gets it.
That's a great bomb. Going off that little corner there. Get behind the OD players. Chaos is going to be bottom though. He's past everyone and Frozen bombs into swinging for the return. Ends up just giving it away. There are definitely a couple other ways if he even just didn't bomb at all, he probably would have stayed alive. But um, that ends up giving up a cap and keeping it a 1 cap game. Very high scoring. On Transilio,
Yeah,
sometimes see some really low scoring ones. This big swing looks like he'll be able to tie it up. The last block comes in from Alpha Churro, and it's a 4-4 game.
I actually thought coming into this game that the game might be a little slow. I know we have a defensive partnership change on Snow Angles where Prism came in for Crowman, but Crowman, Squeeb, Alpha Churro, and Omar, who's playing as Olaf this season, all were the top 4 in prevent in all of minors. These teams last week had the flag and base a lot, so I thought it might be a little bit of a slow game, but the contrary, as it's already 4-4, less than 7 minutes in.
Yeah. And I mean, I'd be willing to bet that the teams actually. I'm not gonna bring up the scoreboard right now, but the teams probably have a decent amount of prevent. A lot of these caps have just been pretty quick base to base.
Yeah, Squeeb's already at 315 of prevent.
Oh my goodness. With almost 3 minutes still to go. As power up spawning, Frozen does get soloed though. Would have been a good chance if you grab during power ups. You really need to be able to juke probably just the one player that's chasing you. Oh no, and Frozen ends up killing his teammate. He bombs down, gets the fuse on swinging, but it's not
Swinging,
enough.
puts it a little bit, puts it with the rolling bomb, and then delays a second after the rolling bomb's diffused. A little early for that one. It's only 5-4. We'll see how the rest of the game plays out.
Yeah, Squeeb's gonna be out already. On the other side, and it was a nice portal
Ooh,
spawn, and the boosts. Oh, he runs into the portals a bit awkwardly. And
good
then
effort though, especially from a defender.
yeah, Prism now the other defender with the flag ends up getting soloed by Chaos, and it's Yes who'll have the bomb to work with. It's gonna look
I
top.
think Yis was a top capper in the league in week 1, like top 5. So it was interesting to see he got cut.
Yeah. I think a lot of it's just sort of like community. Like, do you feel like personality wise, do you get along with the player?
Right.
There's a lot of weird stuff where it's like, I'm sure there's more experience that the teams have had in scrims playing with each other. As this is a good chance for Yis to
I
get his cap.
don't know what Omar and Alpha are doing up there in the top right. It seems a little weird that they weren't going towards the base, and then it kind of came back to haunt them as they got returned.
Yep, and it is a 5-5 game. Chaos can't get past as pretty much the entire Angles team was going for the contain. And it will be a reset. A minute or so left. The last round of power-ups will be spawning soon. See,
Back to your point about personality and just kind of chemistry is a big thing. It almost doesn't matter who's more skilled. Like I don't think anybody would pick Yis as a better offensive player than Space Tiger. Space Tiger is fairly well established in minors as a decent offender at worst, but he got dropped after week 1 by Frozen, and Frozen picked up Yis to play with him. And I think those decisions can also be made when the captain is the one of the partners, that they have a little more free reign to say, I might not like playing with this player, or I might like this person because they're going to set me up a little bit more. So it's interesting to see after week 1, there was a lot of flips.
yep, and Frozen trying to get a last cap number 6 for the team. Still an opportunity, only 10 seconds left. Can he steal the boost? He can. He gets past Omar. Can he get around the blocks? The blocks are pretty good. Great blocks, in fact. This is going to be cap number 6 with just a few seconds left to go. They'll take that momentum into half number 2. Frozen on top of the leaderboard with 4 caps and 6 power-ups. Very well done from him.
Yeah, very good blocks on that last cap there. Squeeb. I think it was Yes back there. Yes, we have 413 of prevent from Squeeb. That is a lot of prevent.
Wow. Almost half the game.
Yeah.
Alright, so a very high scoring game that we were not expecting in half number 1, but we'll see how it changes for half number 2. What can the Hotties do differently to prevent giving up 6 caps?
I think, as evidenced first by Squeeb's high prevent numbers, they probably didn't have very many regrab trains, it didn't feel like. So you get the flag when you're struggling against a team that has a lot of prevent. Once you get it out, you got to keep it out, and that's step number 1. So hopefully Chaos and Swingin can hold a little bit more. Swingin only had a minute 7 of hold, which isn't all that much as we're going right back into the game. Power-ups were as even as you can get, 14 to 13 on Transilio with the 3rd power-up. Both teams had 6 tag pros, so nothing to complain about there. I think Hotties are playing all right. They might have gotten a little cocky a little early with that boat, and like I said, I don't know what Omar and Alpha were doing with that tag pro lead one time. I might have missed a couple seconds where they were tagging somebody up there, but they were in a weird spot and then got returned for a cap.
Yeah,
I think this is a good team. They're based on what they did last week and based on the people that they have on this team, and also having team as, I guess, a 5th ball. Like, this team's going to be a top team, so I wouldn't be surprised if they really turn it around and have to.
Yep, and I think it'll really start with the power-ups as they don't get any of them this time. A sweep for the angles, including a tag pro lead now for Yis. If they can keep the flag in base, this is a really good opportunity. They have all the time in the world. Squeeb should come back to try to contain. They'll have it in a couple seconds, and it will be a cap for Yis, making it a now 2-cap game on aggregate.
Cap game.
Oh, actually, I think, let's see. I forgot I can show the scoreboard now in the corner so people watching can actually see what the half 1 score was. Look at that, magic.
Nice.
So yeah, Angle's just trying to hold on to the regrab chain now. Frozen, he's just gonna wait mid. Chaos and Omar trying to contain. Omar gets beat though. Frozen goes for the boost, but Alpha Churro, nice button. As the next round of power-ups come up, it's a tag pro lead for Swingin', but it doesn't work out as Yis gets around behind it for the return.
Ooh.
The second attempt, though, is out, and now it's Squeeb that has to stay alive for a long time with Chaos coming in, and Swingin's tag pro cleans up the last chance, the last defender who had a chance.
Chaos gets Young Hotties on the board this half. Most a nice roll grab from swinging there off the boosts.
Yep, and again, already a very high-scoring game. A cap for either side in the first few minutes. We will see if the Hotties can finish off their comeback. They've kept it close after giving up the first cap, a cap with just a minute or so left in the first half, and giving up the first cap in the second half. But here's a good grab for Excel. He can't get through the gate. Nice move from
Swinging
him
sticks
swinging
through.
though with the juke juice. He's gonna be past two. Omar goes for a boost block, only hits one. Swing will have to back up and he won't be able to get out. Rehab train is very good though.
One thing I noticed when we did the Snow Angles game last week, even though they lost by a lot, like they lost by like 20 on aggregate for the week, their OD was fairly good, which sounds kind of counterintuitive, but it could have been a lot worse. And as they just showed right there that if they're set on OD, they're pretty good. Frozen, and this week it's Yes. Last week it was Space Tiger. Fairly solid on OD, and I think that's definitely led by Frozen.
Yep, as everyone is fighting for the power-ups now, the Hotties do get 2 out of 3. One's a rolling bomb though, and Swing was unable to get out. He was 1v2. He had a juke juice, but was all alone. Nice grab from Chaos.
Not sure what Yes was doing there in the gate.
And
this game is the slowed down game that we were expecting in half one.
Yep, the Angles are able to keep the reset a little bit better this time. As Yes, nice button from Frozen, he's going to get out, but Chaos gets out at the exact same time. Both sides looking for a return for Cap. The 1v1 block, nice pull from Frozen, but the solo from Swingin'. Another 1v1 chance on the block. Squeeb with a nice read gets the return. Chance is still there. Omar pushes it in, but no one's really blocking. Everyone's just out by the gate for the Hotties. Not sure what was going on there.
Good OD again from Snow Angles.
And a tag pro will go over to either side on top of the rolling bomb for swinging on the Hotties. Tag pro's kiss, Frozen, he's not going to get out. He's just too scared. Big swinging on that boost is a threatening ball.
It kind of wastes Swinging's rolling bomb though, so it wasn't for naught.
Yep. You'll take the little wins there. And of course, they're happy to keep both flags reset as long as they have the lead. And they'll be out. Yes, nice grab. He's going to be past 3. He just has to beat Swingin', is not able to. Good OD from Swingin', just rushes out at him, and Alpha Churro gets the reset. Frozen even says it's a nice return. He's acknowledging the good play from Alpha Churro with the solo. 4 minutes to go. We'll see who goes for the pups. It's mid-pup that's last, and Yes goes for the grab instead. Interesting decision. Can he get out? He's not past Omar, but his team is able to get a tag pro. But the other two go over to the Hotties. A juke juice on the flag.
Oh. If that kiss came a second earlier from Chaos, that would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, Omar's rolling bomb was able to get defused before he could grab, or as he grabbed, really. And was not able to get
Frozen.
Oh, Swingin' goes hard for the gate and gives up Frozen cap number 2 of the half for the Angles. Makes it now a 2-cap game with just a couple minutes to go.
The great cap.
I feel like that's just an unforced error. There's no need to get off the button for Swingin'. You know, your team is, you know, a half second away from being able to help contain with you. But instead he goes for the solo play. And it comes back to bite him. But he is rewarded with the rolling bomb and gets double tapped by Squeeb. Hotties do seem to be doing pretty well on power-ups this round. They've got the sweep this time with a couple juices. But how can they use them? Prism and Squeeb looking like they're doing pretty well. And they get the flash grab from the non-juke juice player. That's always a really good sign. Swinging keeps going for the grabs, and it's not able to get it out. And Yes goes for that same move going underneath the button. Again, though, is not able to get past the OD as the blocks just have not been quite there when he needed them.
This is playing well, though. Not getting the caps, but he's helping Frozen get out. He's getting chances,
Yeah,
pressure.
yeah, he's had a couple nice outs. As
Oh,
Alpha DCs, just refreshing. He'll be coming back, but I think that might give up the power up. As Yes actually gets it on the flag, he has to defuse it, but all three power ups this time heading over to the angles will not make it any easier. If the Hotties want to come back in this game, they're still 2 caps down and facing a tag pro lead. Alpha Churro is going to go for the bomb snipe, misses it though, and Squeeb gets one return. This
oh,
Chaos needs to save it. He does. He avoids the tag pro lead, and he's going to be
and
past
Swinging
4.
gets the solo. That
What
might
a
be a
turn
game
of
changer.
events! All of a sudden, just a 1 cap game. What could have been, it was really a 2 cap swing. It could have been a 3 cap lead, and really just a
Yeah,
game all set and done for the Angles. Instead, a minute to go, still a chance.
I think Yes should just kind of hold it out here. That's what I would do. Take your time.
Yep, he's certainly going to try. He comes in. Oh, he nearly had it. A nice bomb off the corner. As the last round of power-ups are spawning, the first goes over to the Hotties. It's a
I
Juke
don't know
Juice.
if Frozen has enough time to wait. Oh, Alpha kind of delays and Frozen gets it rolling.
Oh, a lucky power-up spawn and the boost spawn, and he's
Oh,
going to cap it. Wow, what a cap from Frozen. A lucky power-up spawn, but he doesn't even need it. The boost spawns as well to help him get out. Chaos is going to come in. He has a tag pro to help. Couldn't put it back at a 1 cap game. They just need this return here. They should have. No,
oh,
Prism gets the split. And with 20 seconds to go, I think this is going to be enough for them to hold on. They will get 1 cap back. 17 seconds now. They'll need a grab really quick. Swing in, unlucky. Prism spawns right in the perfect position to get the return. And the last chance really for Chaos now. He's going to be out. He doesn't have the angle to the boost though. He comes through the gate. Oh, the boost pushes him into Yes. And the
wow.
angles hold on. Hold on to a 1 cap game. That makes the final score of this one on aggregate 9-8.
Very high scoring. Another 4-minute prevent half for both Squeeb and Prism this time. Nice comeback game after week 1 for Snow Angles, getting them back on the right track.
Yep, that is the first win of the season for the Angles. They're hoping to turn into 6 points this week. If they can get another one on Willow. Willow is a bit of a different map. I think Willow is, at the high levels of play, it's not one of my favorites. I feel like it, even more so than we predicted for Transilio, it can be pretty slow. There's just, you got a couple bombs in base, but overall, not the most eventful map.
I am a big Willow fan. I enjoy playing offense on it. I like slow, methodical, like you were saying, games where you can use the map elements like those 2 bombs to your advantage if you're good at keeping track of it. And so I like that. And I like the mid in Willow. Enough going on, and it's not clunky and it's not slow. I think it's a good competitive map.
Do
Though I
you
would.
prefer this version? I believe I have the correct version up, which is the version with the power-ups in the middle, or the version with the power-ups in the bases?
So Miners is definitely playing the one with the power ups in the middle. I prefer the one with the power ups in base. I think that decision there, where the offense and the defense, if you're playing like prevent 2v2, where you have to decide if you want to get the pup or possibly let the flag out. I think just decisions like that kind of just make things happen in the game. Where here, if you're playing defense and you decide to leave for the pup, you might give up a grab, but you're still like kind of ahead, which makes it less of like a risk reward. It's just kind of something that you do whether you leave or not. And I think the power up in base just opens it up for more action, I guess, like you were saying, on a kind of slow map.
All right, we are in game now. Game number 2 on Willow. Getting started here. Let's see. Sound should now be good, and we're off. Quickly, all the bombs are defused, and we'll see if anyone can actually get a grab out before in this first 20 or so seconds before the bombs spawn. Frozen is the first one to go for it, and Chaos right after, but both get returned pretty quickly.
I also think the creative boost that you can take, like either to grab or to cap, like through the spikes or around that little step, are interesting, and it definitely rewards those who practice those boosts over and over.
Yeah, definitely the boosts are really well placed. I think there's some, like for example, in that Transilio, the base boosts in the corner near the pup that used to be a spike. I never really
Yep.
liked any of the boosts when you put them against the wall. It's just I don't know. It's somewhat of a personal preference. As the
Yeah,
first round of power ups are coming up, and they will both go over to the angles, including a tag pro from Prism.
Squeeb gets a quick return and bombs right to offense to help with the tag, bro.
Tag pro will get frozen out of base, and now Prism's gonna come back and give a lead. That's gonna be a cap. That's the power of the tag pro. Prism giving the lead for Frozen to get the first cap of the game. Angles on the board already, picking up exactly where they left off.
And I just realized that everyone on Snow Angles has like played majors for a full season at some point. I think definitely
Interesting.
helps in minors.
Yeah.
Felt like that helped my team last season in minors. Cap Hazard. Uh, I don't think Q42 has played a full season of majors, but he's had majors experience. But having Slide been on good teams, Will played a season in majors, and I played majors before. I've just like having that experience helps. And all of these players have consistently played majors before, which I think at worst it just helps with confidence. That like, yeah, I've played majors before. This is minors. Whether it's true or not, you think you can handle it for sure. Um, and I think adding Prism and Yes can help with that for sure.
Yep, confidence is one thing, and just anytime you play at the top level, you're forced to elevate your own level. And so just having that experience, playing against the best will make you better.
And I might be a little biased, but I think having offensive players that have played defense before is a good thing. Uh, Squeeb kind of lost the block there, but defense did enough to get Frozen another cap. Um, and this team with both Frozen and Yes on offense, they're both previous defenders, which I think normally when you play defense, it means you're not good enough to play offense. So you have to kind of think more than you just rely on skill. So I think Yes and Frozen are definitely taking advantage of that, of like thinking before every grab and making sure you get power ups. As Swingin gets a tag pro, Cap as an FC.
Yep, he goes flag pro, and he's gonna get another out for Chaos. He's gonna be passed through. The bomb helps him a lot actually, and Alphatro just
Right
needs one
bomb.
block. Can Frozen get there in time? Not quite. And just like that, tied back up the Hotties to make it a 2-2 game.
Another
Frozen,
fast moving half one.
yeah, Frozen already has a couple caps, and he nearly had a third. While you were talking, he had the boost straight in from bottom, but ended up hitting the corner instead. And ooh, what a solo from Frozen! Just runs straight at Omar and gets the reset. Can he get the last block? Not quite. Good OD from Chaos. This time the power-ups, no one on the angles are really even contesting, and just free power-up sweep for the Hotties, and that's going to give a nice cap. Makes it a lot easier when you have your Tag Pro and your Juke Juice chasing.
Yeah, right. The tag pro spawns right next to the FC, and the juke juice is where the opponent's FC is. It helps when you get those spawns and the power ups.
Yep, that's practically the perfect power-up spawns. Nice grab from Frozen, though. He gets the split and uses the bump to make some space. Just need a last return. Oh no, Prism can't get it quite early enough, and Alpha Churro is able to catch up in time to prevent the cap for Frozen.
See, maybe we were thinking about this incorrectly. With both of these teams having a lot of prevent, at least I thought it was going to be a slow game. But you obviously need the flag and base to cap. So if both teams have the flag and base a lot, if you get one grab past two people, your defense is keeping the flag in, you're gonna get a chance.
Yeah, it's true. As power-ups are spawning again, this time the Snow Angles remember them, but they're giving up perhaps a cap as Squeeb needs to boost in with Rolling Bomb helps give him the grab and prevents the cap from Excel, or from Chaos I should say. Swinging, trying to come in now, but all three OD members are there. See if Chaos will be able to keep this regrab chain alive. Squeeb and Yes trying to cut him down. Nice move, he just straight lines past Squeeb, but that boost spawn, that's unlucky. And Frozen's gonna be out. He's past 3. Return, not quite there. Yes goes for a snipe, but just misses swinging.
This is one thing that definitely hurt the Snow Angles last week when we had their game is they didn't play a lot of anti. And this is the first real shot for Hotties to have regrab train. And as I say that, Prism plays anti and they get capped.
That was a great bomb from Frozen actually.
Yes.
I think he killed the chaser behind him and just makes some room, makes it easier for his defender to get the 1v1 block for him. And that ties up the game. Frozen all 3 caps, I believe, on the half so far.
Yes.
But again, it's the Tag Pro Juke Juice combo for the Hotties that make it really difficult for the Angles. Yes needs to stay alive for a long time. He's running all the way back, and he does survive for long enough.
Young Hotties were going for it there with Alpha coming off of a regrab to try and get that return.
Yeah, and a great boost block from Swinging. Ooh, the bomb. I think Omar wasn't sure if he should take the bomb block. He thought maybe it could have just come straight in. And it ended up being too late. As Prism again playing anti and will get a reset for the Angles. Frozen's out of base. He should be able to help Yes for the power up. He's a little bit too slow and ends up giving up another Tag Pro over to the Hotties. This time Squeeb does get a Juke Juice though.
It'd be a bit too busy up there for him to help Yes at the power up.
Yeah, it would have been difficult, and he might have died for it. But I think if he helped early, they at least get the Tag Pro.
True.
And
he might have died, but the Tag Pro is worth it.
Yeah. Nice move from Omar. He gets a split and around Prism.
Oh.
Can't get underneath Yes though. Swingin has a boost to work with. Squeeb's just gonna sit on that button, make sure he doesn't go through gate, and Swingin runs into a wall and ends up getting contained by Yes and Squeeb. But the regrab chain is certainly alive. Frozen tried to play anti there, but a nice grab from Chaos to get out against it. And a couple grabs, a couple deaths. Squeeb needs to stay alive now. Nice block from Yes to give him that last bit needed.
Oh.
And another power-up sweep for the Hotties. This time it's a Tag Pro and a Rolling Bomb. Rolling Bomb, nice kiss to give the Rolling Bomb on flag, but the defuse comes in from Squeeb, and Omar should be returned here.
Great play from Squeeb.
Yup, he does all the work he needs, make sure to get the defuse and keep the flag in base. Now it's Alpha Churro. That's really smart to avoid the kiss at first, but his team can't get the return. And Squeeb will get sniped by Omar. This game remains tied. Another close game. Last one was very close across both halves, and this one with just a minute left in game 2, half number 1. It's a 3-3 tie. Frozen's gonna be out. He has a boost to work with. The bomb, I think Squeeb went for a bomb block, ends up missing everyone though. And the last round of power-ups are coming up. Yes ends up leaving regrab to go for the power-up. Now decides he has no chance of getting the pup, and he has to go for the grab instead. But
another Tag Pro for Hotties.
Another Tag Pro, and it's again the Tag Pro Juke Juice combo, which is perhaps the most deadly combo of power-ups. But the 4OD might be enough. Oh man, I think back-to-back flag carriers have now run into the Tag Pro lead and end up dying for it. Oh, but a great bomb from Alpha Churro just barely runs into that spike. He bounced off his teammate to get that angle, I think. And that nearly gave him the lead in this half. But instead, it's still tied. Frozen, a chance for the last cap with a few seconds to go. Omar gets returned,
Oh,
but Swingen recovers to get the last return. And this this half will end tied 3-3. Another close game. Frozen, as we mentioned, all 3 caps for his team. He must have already 10 caps this week, I think. Um, let's see. Omar and
yeah.
Swingen each have a cap. And let's check on the power-ups real quick. 6, yeah, only 6 went over to the angles, while 12 were picked up um, by the Hotties. We kept
Very big
mentioning it.
difference.
They keep getting the tag pros, um, and that certainly helped them quite a bit. And we're getting right back underway. No time to waste.
Hotties had 6 tag pros out of their 12 pups, and Snow Angles had 2 out of their 6 power ups.
Interesting. Yeah, so a bit lucky on the spawns. But, even though they managed to double up the angles on power-ups, they couldn't double up their score, as it remains a tie game heading into the final half of this week, unless there's overtime, of course. Swinging goes for the first grab. He had a bit of a block from Chaos, but it wasn't quite there. And now he's going to stay back on defense. Ooh, nice move from Yes. Does he have the angle to the boost? He does, but Chaos is there, and Big Swing and caught up anyway.
It'll be interesting this week, especially if Snow Angles pull out a win. Whoa, I don't know what
Interesting.
Alpha was doing there. Is how much Frozen is willing to bid on Yes in free agency. That if he thinks Yes is the answer,
Yeah.
playing very well with him today.
Yes was on Bally's team, is that right? Before this week,
Sounds right.
um, and so he did well. People, as you mentioned earlier, I think he had a number of caps, and so far doing well for the angles. As they've done better than they did last week. Of course, a couple changes. He's not the only difference, but
Yes did get drafted by Ball Guys, which is Snowball's team. Yeah, it's Bally's team, Bally and Snowball.
right, okay, yeah. Yeah, really, all both changes for the angles have done well. Yes, really playing a bit more of a support role, but he's got a few good outs. Nice jukes. Prism has done well, with Squeeb on defense, and
Yeah, nothing really stand out from Prism today. No real cap plays or crazy returns, but he's just given a sense of like calmness to the team. There's not a lot of things going on. They like last week they were giving up a lot of chances, and the OD was saving them. Or this week, there's not really even many chances that are getting out of their defensive base.
yeah, and there's a nice attempt from Yes, goes for a fancy bomb, but can't quite get it. A good chance for Frozen now. Great boost.
Wow.
Oh, what a boost off the corner. Frozen is playing out of his mind this game. That gives his team another lead.
Frozen is showing that the CRC made a good decision by giving him the least amount of tag coins as a
That's
captain.
right. And looking at this the Hotties offense, it seems like Swinging is pretty grabby. He's always seems to be the first one to grab between him and Chaos, and sometimes that works out for them. But Prism has done pretty well. Of course, he's just misses a snipe as I say it. But like that last one, really nice job to just contain and keep him in. And the block,
Ooh,
what a block from Prism there. And nice read from Yes. It makes it a 2-cap game now.
did notice that last